Welcome students. Today let us learn about Pascal's law, surface tension, viscosity and friction. First let us learn about Pascal's law. We shall look into an activity. Take a rubber ball, fill it up with water and make small holes in it with a sharp needle throughout the rubber ball. Now gently press the rubber ball. Observe what happens. You have applied pressure on the rubber ball. You can see water will be flowing in all the directions. This could be well explained by means of the Pascal's law. This Pascal's law was given by the scientist Pascal. Pascal's law states that the pressure applied at any point in a liquid at rest in a closed system is equally distributed through all the directions of the liquid. That's why, since it is distributed equally throughout, when the water is flowing out in various directions, the force remains the same. Now let us look in for the applications of the Pascal's law. Let us see where this Pascal's law is used. First of all, in automobile service stations. You would have seen automobile service stations, and in this automobile service stations you would have seen hydraulic lift. For what purpose this hydraulic lift is used? Yes, you are right. Hydraulic lift is mainly used to lift the heavier automobiles. So this hydraulic lift works on Pascal's law. Secondly, you can see in automobile brake system, again this Pascal's law is employed. So we know that Pascal's law is very important. Not only that, in hydraulic and again hydraulic press. This hydraulic press is used to compress loads of cotton and cloth for that matter. So here also Pascal's law is employed. Next we shall move into surface tension. Before going deep into surface tension, let us look in for an activity. Take a glass beaker. This glass beaker has to be filled with water. Gently spread a tissue paper on the surface of the glass paper, and again slowly place a paper clip on the top. Just place a paper clip at the top. Just leave for few seconds. Observe what happens. After few seconds you can note that this tissue paper gets wet and it submerges to the bottom. What about the paper clip? The paper clips floats. We know very well that the paper clip is heavy. Then how does this happen? To explain this, we will look into the molecules of water. This is water, and you can see water molecules are present like this. They will be in random motion, and let us consider any three water molecule here within this. Let us consider a water molecule A which is present here. This water molecule is acted upon by force of attraction by the other water molecules which are present around. Consider another water molecule which is present somewhere near the surface. This is B. This water molecule is acted upon more by water molecules which are present on the downward side than on the upward side, because it is somewhat closer to the surface. Now let us take another water molecule which is exactly present on the surface. Let us take this to be C. What happens to the water molecule C? This water molecule is acted upon only the other water molecules which are present in the downward direction, whereas up there is no water molecules present. So what are the molecules which are, there are many molecules which are present on the surface. For all these molecules, what happens, only a downward push and pull is experienced, whereas it is not acted equally on all sides. This is the reason why the surface of water is behaving like a stretched elastic membrane. Because of this stretched elastic membrane property, the paper clip is floating. This property of the liquid is called as surface tension, and this surface tension is experienced only by liquids. And let us see what is the SI unit. SI unit will be Newton bar meter, or you can write Newton meter minus 1. Now it's very, having explained these facts, now we can very easily define surface tension. Surface tension is the amount of force which is acting per unit length. That's why, that is the force acting per unit length. That's why we are giving Newton and meter here as a unit. So force acting per unit length is called as surface tension, and this surface tension, we know very well that it's a unique property only for liquids. Now let us see about the applications of surface tension. The first application will be, you would have noticed very well in plants. In plants, here roots are there. Through the roots, water will be conducted. Through the roots, water is conducted. It is conducted upwards. How does this happen? It is opposing the force of gravity, and the water is conducted upwards through the entire plant or tree for that matter. How does this happen? This happens only because of surface tension. We know very well that xylem tissues are present in the plant. These xylem tissues make up the xylem vessels. What are these xylem vessels? How do they look like? These xylem vessels look like xylem tubules, and through this tubes water is conducted. What is that action here? It is involved capillarity action. This capillarity action is involved here, and this capillarity action is caused only because of surface tension. So we know that surface tension plays a very important role here. And again, have you seen water strider insects? Water strider insects. These insects will be floating at the top of the surface of the water, and they are able to stay on the surface of the water only because of surface tension. And third property, during heavy storms, what happens in the sea? The surface tension is raised. Because of this raise in the surface tension, the ships may get damaged. So what the sailors do is, they pour oil or soap powder into the sea in order to reduce the surface tension. So by that method, they are protecting the ship to some extent. Next, we shall look into the other property, viscosity. Let us see what viscosity is. Here also, we are going to learn about an activity. Take some amount of water, some amount of coconut oil and honey. From these three, take 3 glass plates. 3 separate glass plates should be taken, and take 1 drop of water here, and here coconut oil and honey. 1 drop of coconut oil and 1 drop of honey is taken in each of the glass plates. Now gently raise one side of this glass plate. What happens? The liquid start flowing through that. Make it slowly fall through the entire surface. Through the entire surface it has to flow. Now just observe the speed at which they flow. How do they flow? You know very well that water flows faster than coconut oil. Coconut oil flows faster than honey, and honey flows very slowly. How does this happen? For a liquid which has low viscosity, it flows very fast like water. For a liquid like honey which has high viscosity, it flows very slowly. What happens here? There is a frictional force between the liquid layers. This frictional force is opposing the relative motion of the layers of the liquid. That's what is happening, and this property of the liquid is called as viscosity. Now you can also give the SI unit of viscosity as Newton seconds bar meter square, or you can write it as Newton seconds m minus 2. Now we have an application here for this viscosity. Yes, we have seen about paints and varnishes, and these paints and varnishes are comparatively viscous. Why? Because so that they could evenly and smoothly spread on a large area. By that we complete viscosity, and we shall move on to the next topic, friction. When we walk on the road which is very dry, we are able to walk very safely. But when we walk on a wet road, we find it very difficult to walk, or we may tend to fall sometimes. Why does this happen? This happens because of friction. Okay, now let us see what are the effects of friction. Before looking into the effects, why does this friction happen? Why are we able to walk very smoothly when we walk on the road which is dry? That is because there is a frictional force which is developed between our feet and the road. Because of that frictional force, we are able to walk on a surface which is very dry. What happens when we walk on a wet surface? When we walk on a wet surface, since there is wetness there, the friction developed is comparatively very much lesser. So we tend to fall. Next, let us look in for the effects. Because of friction, what's happening? The first one will be wear and tear. Wear and tear happens between the two liquid surfaces or two surfaces which are in contact. So the primary thing is, important thing is wear and tear, and the second one will be it produces heat. And the third one will be it opposes motion. When there is more friction, what happens is more of heat will be produced between the two surfaces, and when there is more of friction, here it is opposing motion. That means what? If there is more friction, the motion with which the objects are able to move, that is also opposed. That's all about the effects of friction. Next we shall see what are the types of friction. Here we are going to learn about two types of friction. The first one will be static friction, and the second one is kinetic friction. The first one static friction, and the second one kinetic friction. What is static friction? Static friction is experienced by the objects when the objects are at rest. The word itself says static rest. An example you can say a car which is parked on the hill. And kinetic friction, this is the friction that is experienced by the object when the objects are in motion. Okay, for example, you can say when we walk on the road, what happens when we walk on the road? There is a friction which is developed between our foot and the road surface. That you can give example for kinetic. And this kinetic again is divided into rolling friction and sliding friction. When one object rolls over the other object, you call that friction developed as rolling friction, and when one object slides over the other object, the friction that is developed, you call it as sliding friction. And the next one we shall move into factors on which friction depends. The first factor will be nature of the surface. This will be the first one, nature of the surface. What about the surface? We are talking about two objects which are in contact. Suppose the object, the surface at which they have contact, that surface, if it is very rough, then the friction is more. If the friction, that is, if the objects are very smooth, then the friction will be lowered. So that will be the nature of the surface. And the second one will be area of contact. And here, if the area is more, then the friction is more. If the area is less, then the friction is less. For example, you can take a tire of the lorry and the tire of the cycle. The tire of the lorry is comparatively much broader than the tire of the cycle. So what happens? The friction is more in the case of lorry, whereas the friction is less in the case of cycle because of the surface area being very less. And the last one will be weight. Weight also plays an important role in friction. We are able to pedal a cycle very easily if the cycle does not have any load on its carrier. Whereas if you are going to have lots of weight in the carrier, you will find it very difficult to pedal. Why? Because since you are keeping lots of weight on the carrier, it is pulled downwards. More and more of friction is acting on it. So because of that, you are not able to move the cycle or not able to pedal the cycle faster. And the next one, advantages. Advantages of friction. Let us see what are the advantages. We know very well that friction is necessary in order to conduct our day-to-day activities very smoothly. The first one you can see, we are able to hold any objects. Any objects we can hold it only because of friction. See, I am holding this chalk. I am able to hold this chalk only because of friction. The friction that is developed between my hand and the chalk, or my fingers and the chalk. So we are able to hold any objects only because of friction. Second one, walk. We are able to walk on the ground only due to friction. Suppose there is a friction developed between our footwear and the ground, then only walking seems to be easy. And third one, writing. We are able to write very easily on a paper with a pen only because of friction. Okay, then you are able to, again more examples also I can give you, like you can light a matchstick because of friction, and you can fix a nail to the wall because of friction. All this happens because of friction. And in the road you can see vehicles are able to move very easily only because of friction. So we come to know that friction plays a very important role. Next, let us see about the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of friction? Even though friction has many uses, it also has disadvantages. And the primary disadvantage will be, as we said already, it is wear and tear. When two objects are in contact constantly, what happens? There is a wear and tear between the surfaces which are in contact, and this is the primary disadvantage. And the second one, when we are operating a machine, there is friction developed. So because of the friction developed, what we are doing is we are putting extra energy in order to reduce the friction. This extra energy is a waste of energy. So this also is very important disadvantage of friction in machinery. We are putting more efforts in order to reduce this friction. So it's a waste of energy. And again, heat is developed. While operating a machine, lots of heat is developed due to friction. This also causes physical damage. It causes physical damage to the machinery. And finally, let us see about increasing and decreasing friction. The first one, usage of lubricants. What are these lubricants? For example, you can take lubricants as grease, castor oil, etc. Why are these lubricants used? These lubricants are used in order to reduce the friction. What do they do actually? When you apply this lubricant on the surfaces of contact, they fill there, the irregularities and all are filled up and the friction is reduced. Then ball bearings. What are these ball bearings? These ball bearings also help us to reduce the friction. Here the rolling friction is, that is the sliding friction is converted to rolling friction. By that way the ball bearings are very much useful. And the third one will be surface of contact. We have already seen that if the surface of contact is increased, that is surface area, if it is increased, you can increase the friction. And again, if it is, that is the nature of the surface. Nature of surface. Nature of the surface. If the nature of the surface, if it is very smooth, then there will be no friction. If the surface area is rough, then there will be more friction. So for this you can take example to be, let us take an example of an automobile tire. In the automobile tires you would have seen treads. And these treads are nothing but the designs which are seen on the tires. Why are these designs there? These designs are there in order to increase the friction between the tire and the road. By that way, by increasing the friction, the vehicles are able to move very smoothly. That's all for today's class. Thank you.